Hi, my name's Jason Lee and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Illumr. And our new product, Rosa, is a de-biased data solution. And that empowers you as a bank to make better credit risk decisions and comply with global regulations on discrimination. So why is that important? Well, I'm sure you read in the press that Apple Card were investigated for gender discrimination complaints. They were being sexist against women applying for credit. And it seems to be becoming an endemic problem across financial services. And if you're a bank, you really don't want your name across the top of the FT saying that it was sexist or racist towards your customers. So why does this keep on happening? Well, people incorrectly think that if you just remove the bias column from your data set and then you train up an AI algorithm, that resulting algorithm can no longer discriminate against that characteristic because it's not in the data set. But that's not actually the case in real life, because every column of your data set is in a subtle way a proxy for your protected characteristics. So you can see in this example here, although age isn't listed, BMI is. Well, older people tend to have a higher BMI number naturally. You can see that pet ownership is listed. Well, older people tend to have a pet more commonly. So if you took this data set that doesn't include age and you trained up an AI algorithm, it can still infer age through those bias proxies and still therefore discriminate by it. So if your data is poisoned with these proxies, that puts you in a really difficult position with regard to global regulation. For instance, in Europe you have GDPR that places an obligation on data processors to prevent bias in automated decision-making systems. You also have EU regulations on gender-neutral car and life insurance pricing, for instance. And so we know a lot of banks are very hesitant right now to train up new models because they know their data is biased with these proxies and they're going to fall foul of the regulators. And if you look at current solutions right now, such as IBM's solution that tries to fudge the algorithm after it's been trained, they trade off predictive accuracy for fairness. And this is like a double-edged sword, because although you may be less at risk of being non-compliant, you're now more at risk of making a very bad credit risk decision. So for instance, you may offer a family a mortgage they can't afford. That's bad for you, and that's certainly bad for them. So what is the solution to all this? Our solution is Rosa. And Rosa is a really easy to implement method of not only removing the bias, but the influence of those bias proxies before you train up any AI algorithm. And we do this without sacrificing accuracy for fairness. And what that means for you as a business is that you now have better business outcomes and can comply with global regulations on discrimination. So for instance, if you're Apple Card and you can no longer discriminate against gender through those bias proxies, you can only increase your card revenues from those women whose credit was good were being denied before. We've named our product after Rosa Parks, the iconic figure and the woman who fought for equality in the United States. I mentioned IBM's solution, and they have a solution that's been out a couple of years now, but it requires a very expensive data scientist to come in and fudge the algorithm after it's been trained. It's a manual process. Ours is completely automated. It's a fit and forget solution you can insert automatically in your data analytics pipeline. We also don't trade fairness for accuracy, so a clear differentiator there. But we also empower the banks with explainability. This isn't just a black box solution. And we give them a permanent immutable record to actually demonstrate to the regulators how and when the bias removal took place and that they are compliant with current and emerging regulation. Our vision is to really help remove bias and discrimination in automated decision-making systems globally. And as such, the Accenture program has been fantastic in providing the perfect platform to accelerate our growth. Our initial target market is financial institutions making credit risk decisions in retail banking and insurance, and the exposure we've been given has been absolutely fantastic. Later markets include things like life sciences and clinical trials, healthcare with patient pathways, and even government public services, although we're even talking to HMRC right now via the programme. And our strategic intent is to scale hard and fast through multiple rounds of funding to an exit with an incumbent prime, maybe one of the big four, for instance, who are looking for competitive differentiation and really want to offer a solution to their customers for compliance with biased regulatory audits. The Accenture FinTech Lab has been absolutely amazing for us. The feedback we've had has been immense when we've really recognised that the financial institutions really have a need for our solution. They really see the value of what we have, and they know that regulatory fines are on the horizon probably within the next 12 months. So if they're not doing something in the next 6 months, they know they're going to be on the back foot. So they really see us as being the insurance policy that empowers them to comply and avoid these fines. We've also been told by some of the mentors that the FCA should be given our software, even for free, in order to drive exponential growth, as the banks will need to buy our solution in order to understand how they operate. And we've been very privileged to engage with 11 of the business mentors, many of whom have given us multiple sessions. These include people like Damien Sutcliffe, the ex-CIO of Goldman Sachs. We've also been able to engage with 16 of the partner financial institutions on the programme, with all of them now targeting opportunities to test Rosa, which is absolutely amazing for us. And the feedback to date has been fantastic from some of the senior leaders in the banks, with one in particular saying, Jason, we know we have to do this now, or at least very, very soon. I'm going to leave you with a slide that summarises our solution, Rosa. And if you do want to find out any more information, please contact me. My email is jason.lee@illumr.com. Thank you.